Hey, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. On this episode, Vincent LaRusso and I are going to give you our first impressions of the new Motley Crüe song, Dogs of War. We'll also let you know what we think about the new Richie Sambora song, I Pray, as well as the new The Wild Things song with Tommy Thayer, Breaking Madonna. Lots of great, fun conversation in this one. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. So let's jump in and let's get started. Hey, everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the Rock Experience with Mike Brunn. Today, he's already laughing. The
Did
man.
we just do this?
I think so. This is, I think, the third one this week. We're on
breaking
fire.
a record.
I'll have to go back through my notes and look. This might be breaking a record. I don't even have to introduce you at this point. People know who you are. The man with the black shirt, the man with the glasses, the man with the peanuts, the man who always has a drink to show us. There you go, right on cue. I didn't even know you had it there. I just assumed you did. Dude, that's going to be a new introduction. No more like bloody comrade, partner in crime. It's going to be the man with a Kirkland drink.
I want that endorsement, damn it.
I know. One day you will get it.
So delicious. Anyways.
Well, I texted you this morning. I'm like, there's a couple of new tracks that got dropped today. Big news one, obviously, being the Motley Crüe one. Surprise to me, at least, being the Richie Sambora one. You see, you asked me beforehand if you ever not prepared, and I said no. You're sometimes not prepared. There you go. Bing.
Can't help it if I'm not popular.
But no, the Sambora one surprised me. The Motley Crüe thing, obviously, has been news for weeks that this song was coming out. So, why don't we start with Motley Crüe? You were in the Motley Crüe tribute band for a few years. You're obviously near and dear with their catalog. Dogs of War, the newest Motley Crüe song. So, I'll start off by saying this. Love the song. I hate the song. I love that Motley Crüe is not just sitting back and doing greatest hit stuff and nothing more. I love the fact that they're putting out new music. Is it worthy of the Motley Crüe name? I guess we'll get into that a little bit in a moment. But I love that they're just not resting on their laurels, because let's be honest, it's not like this song's gonna be a million seller, for them at all. It's not gonna be. I don't think anybody who's gonna listen to this and expect, all right, well, here comes the next Looks to Kill or Shout at the Devil. And when these bands are putting out new music, it's very easy for people to criticize it and all of that. So I give them credit at least for that, right up the top. I'm gonna say that. But you listened to the song today, as we all did for the first time. What were your thoughts? All right, there we go. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
No. Listen, I like the fact that they brought the word bastard back.
Okay. There you go.
Anyways, I thought that was kind of. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I never even made that connection. That's interesting, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. See. Yeah, I mean, listen. I'll be very, very honest. I gave it one listen. Everything we're going to talk about, I gave one listen. It was a matter of time and stuff like that. And I said, I'm only going to give it one listen. What's going to be my initial impression?
Yep.
I didn't think it was bad. I thought it kind of sounds like modern day Motley Crüe, of the stuff they've done in more modern times, whether it be the sound of the drums, the feel of the groove, et cetera, et cetera. I thought Vince Neil sounded like Vince Neil. The guitar solo, I mean, there was like a two-hand tapping thing that I kind of rolled my eyes up at a little bit. I was like, all right. I thought it was good, the solo at parts, but I just felt like that part of it made it sound a little. And listen, I could be guilty as charged of what I'm going to say.
Right. Mhm.
Made it sound a little dated in a sense. I would have almost preferred not to have that two-hand tapping part in there, because I think he is a great guitar player. But there was other parts of solo that I really liked. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
I understand what he was trying to do, kind of give like different flavors. That's
Mhm.
flavors, different flavors of the solo. Um, I thought it was about average on
Right.
first listen. I didn't
Mhm.
think, oh man, this is a fucking, this is a turd.
Right. Right. Right.
I thought it was about average.
Right.
It wasn't like, and I thought like, well, maybe if I listened to this a bunch more times, then maybe I might like it. I might like it more. I didn't think
Right.
I would like it less. That's
Right.
my initial impression going in.
Right. Well, I think it's funny because if you read some of the comments online so far, it's very easy for people to just shit all over Motley Crue. I don't know how else to say it, right? People just love to
Mm-hmm.
crap on them. Since they've come back from their quote unquote retirement, I feel like Motley Crue could do nothing right towards the rock fan base just
Mm-hmm.
in general. So I'm not surprised to see that probably 75% of the comments online, maybe more, were negative. And so many people commenting, well, this is what happens when Mick Mars is not in the band anymore, whatever. And I just sat back and I said, wait a second here. Let's be fair. Now, nothing, take away nothing from Mick, but he was not the primary songwriter of the band here, right? Nikki Sixx has been and always will be the primary songwriter. So I don't think the songwriting is that tremendously impacted by Mick leaving. I thought the song started great. I love the whole guitar, like whatever John Five's playing, like these different notes as the song starts, and it goes into this big heavy riff, and I'm like, yeah, all right, this sounds good. I think I'm gonna like this. I think I'm gonna like this. I'm getting more excited. My expectations were minimal, and I'm getting more excited as that song started. I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the verse kicks in, and it's a more laid back verse, and I'm just like, uh, what the hell is this? Because I just thought
Mm-hmm.
that riff that they wrote was so good and so powerful. And I was really hoping for stuff that kind of hopped back to Too Fast for Love and Shout at the Devil and like that kind of era. And instead, and you said it just now, it had that modern feel to it a little bit. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was hoping, sometimes when you get new blood into the band and they revisit some of the old catalog and whatever, and you start talking about that stuff, it kind of influences your songwriting. And as I'm hearing that opening riff, that's what I was thinking. And then there's like that little like as that opening riff is happening, there like there's that chant, bastards, bastards. And I'm like, all
Mm-hmm.
right, this is gonna be good. And then that friggin' first verse started, and I'm like, then it picks back up again as it goes into the chorus, and there's like all these whoa-wohs going on with a cool riff underneath it. I'm like, it had potential, but at least for my money, is that those verses kind of brought the song down a little bit.
I think that's a fair point for sure.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of the song, and thinking I used to play it. What was the song they did in like? I think it was on the Greatest Hits, or whatever they called it in like 92, 93.
Estranged, but I don't think you did
No.
that one.
Um,
I'm not sure where you're going with that.
what I was trying to say, it sounded like it could have come from that era. Quite
Okay.
honestly.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting because you started off by saying that it sounds like a lot of current Motley Crue. It sounds, and
Well,
so it's like almost like a little
well,
bit of a mix of a few different eras. Because I felt it had a little bit of a Generation Swine type feel, that like that era to it.
well. Okay. To be fair, when I say modern day Motley Crue,
You mean
I guess I, I get
1991?
I guess I got to realize how many years have passed by.
Okay.
That's the scary thing of this whole thing.
Uh-huh.
I'm still trying to find the freaking song. I can't believe I can't remember the name of
Primal
it. But
Scream.
Primal Scream. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
The sound sonics of it,
Mm.
the drum sound and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Again, I only gave it one listen. I was on my laptop. I didn't do it in the full
Mm-hmm.
regalia of my studio or in the car. So I mean, listen, I don't think what I was kind of hoping for, quite honestly, is that it didn't sound like a Motley Crue song. Because I don't really hear any difference whether Mick or John Five played on it, in the sense it sounds like a Motley Crue song to me.
Okay.
I think it would have been a little bit more interesting if it didn't sound like a Motley Crue song. but I understand that they were kind of going for a heavy, kind of thing, and that's their sound. I'm
Right.
talking about for me personally, like, you got some new blood in the band. I don't know who wrote what. I got to figure that he probably wrote a lot of the riffs, probably John.
Mhm.
Maybe he didn't. I don't know.
I'm gonna
But
guess he did. Mhm.
yeah, just based on the technicality of it, you know,
Well,
but
I remember like going back like a year ago that Nikki and John were talking about writing songs together or whatever. So I have to assume that the two of them, and I'm sure Tommy was involved as well. But I have to assume that they were in there. I thought musically, even though I didn't like that the verses dropped down a bit and was a little bit more of what I'll call laid back, for lack of knowing what else to say, I thought musically the song was really solid. I thought the lyrics to me just felt, what do you say, half-assed. I don't know how else to say it, like during the
mm,
chorus is like, don't let those bastards get you down. I'm like, all right, can you say bastards a few more times for me during this? Down, 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 down. I'm like, boo, 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 boo. It just felt a little lazy, the lyrics.
well, and quite honestly, if you think about it, they had a song called, or have a song called Bastard.
Hmm.
They kind of made their point with the bastard thing. Like, you
Yeah.
couldn't come up with something else new. And it's kind of like trying to go for a cheap win, the way I look at it.
Hmm.
It's like, you're trying to sound probably a little bit more aggressive and tough. And this is
Hmm.
like, and to your point, the lyrics are a bit weak,
Right.
and I just think that they were just kind of going for a cheap win with the lyrical theme, quite honestly.
That's what it felt like to me also. Now, I've seen rumors online that people think, and I don't think this for a second, that the whole song was recorded using AI. I think that's ridiculous. I can't imagine John 5 joining Motley Crue says, hey, let's record a whole song using AI. And, that they've used AI to write the lyrics and all that. For a second, I don't believe that. Do I think there's some auto tune on Vince Neil's voice? Yeah, probably. And you
Of
probably
course there
know that
is.
better than me,
Of course there is.
right. But I'll say this: what band doesn't use auto tune at this point anymore?
It's
Sadly.
fair. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's just it's part of the what do they call it? The tapestry of the
Mhm.
recording industry right now.
Yeah.
Right now, it's been for the longest time,
Yep.
unfortunately. For
Yep.
the longest.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I'll say this also. You probably didn't get a chance to watch. They put out a video today also
No,
for the
I
song.
didn't see.
Yeah, so the video is interesting. First off, it's like cartoon, dare I say, avatar-ish.
Mm,
So I'm sure Kiss fans will have something to say about that. It looked, dare I even say, a little bit more realistic as avatars than the Kiss stuff did.
mm-hmm.
They are supposed to be like zombies in the video, so it's like Motley Crue zombies. Um, I thought it was an interesting concept to do for the video, especially the first one with a new guitarist. But I did like throughout the video, there's like these subtle little references, whether it's posters in the background or just little things that they did to kind of like throw back to each of the, I'll say, classic era Motley Crue albums. So I liked that. And I found watching the video actually made me appreciate the song slightly more, which makes no sense because the song is the song. But I thought even though they used a cartoon or avatar type thing, I thought the video kind of added a little bit to my enjoyment of the song.
Yeah, I'm giving it a little quick
Yeah.
look just to see how it feels. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right. It has like an avatarist type look to it, like similar to what Kiss was doing at the end of their final show. Not that I want to
Mm-hmm.
make everything about Kiss, but it just had that little bit of a feel to it, which I just thought was interesting.
The concepts look cool,
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
planes and just visually it looks cool.
Yeah, I thought they did a good job with it because when I first saw it was a cartoon type thing, I'm like, whatever. Because Ace has done some videos where they were like cartoonish, and that just never excited me. But this, I thought they did this one right. They did a good job on this, I thought.
Well, it also looks like they're jumping on the zombie bandwagon. Zombies have become more and more popular over the last however
But
many.
wasn't that like such a thing like 10 years ago? Is zombies still a thing now? I don't know. I've never been a zombie guy.
Uh, it was like 10 years ago, but I
Yeah.
think it's still somewhat popular.
Uh,
I think it gained its popularity again when you're
Again,
when
maybe on
well,
tour they'll cover the song "Zombies," right?
it actually looks like it could be a video game too. A lot of it
Yeah,
too.
it does.
So that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting to see some
Looks
of the
like they made more effort in the video than they did with the lyrics
I
by
can't argue
far.
that one. I can't argue that one at all. But it'll be interesting to see. I'm assuming they're going to put this song in their set list for their summer tour. How could they
Mm.
not? it'll be interesting to see how Vince can pull this off. I thought the vocal seemed a bit more, I don't want to say buried in the mix because I was able to hear the vocals,
Mm,
but there was nothing that like screams, oh wow, that's a tough thing for Vince to sing. It'll be
yeah, I
interesting to see
noticed.
how he pulls that off live.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's our thoughts on Dogs of War, Motley Crue, unless you have something else you wanted to say about that.
No, I mean, just to your point earlier, what you said, I'm at least glad that bands, unlike Kiss, are still trying. They're still putting out
Exactly.
music. There really was no reason why for 10 years plus, Kiss could not have put out even a single or something. I mean,
Something, right.
something.
Right.
I think we got really gypped, quite honestly.
Agreed.
Paul could have his vanity projects, Gene could do his thing, everybody could do their thing, but if you're not going to tour, if you're not, you want to put on the, it's like for 50 pounds
I think it's up
all
to
right.
about 450 pounds
Yeah,
now.
exactly. All right, so just kind of record new music, do an acoustic song. I don't care. You know what I mean? Do something.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just such a shame. It's like while you're alive, take advantage of the time together.
Agreed.
Do it. That's
Agreed.
it.
And to
Even
me,
like,
the way Motley Crue's doing this, and even the way Richie Sambora is doing it, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Um, for 2024, it's kind of the right way. A lot of people don't need a whole new album all at one time. Drop a song, drop an EP or something like that. To your point, there's no reason Kiss couldn't have just recorded 1 or 2 songs before the end of the road tour, added one of them into the set list, something fresh, something new. But I think what happens is, think about what we're talking about with Motley Crue and how I said so many comments are negative. I guarantee if Kiss did that, 70%, 80% of the people would comment, this song is no Love Gun, this song is no Black Diamond. And then those other people would complain that they're doing Black Diamond and Love Gun in concert instead of, so it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing.
well, are you saying the fact that if they recorded songs, they would be compared to their classic songs, that people
Yeah.
would have a problem with that?
Yeah. I mean, I know some people, trying to think of some people I know who maybe don't like Monster or Sonic Boom.
Hmm. I can't think of anybody.
Yeah, that they don't compare to the albums of the
Well,
70s and the 80s even.
I'm going to say this.
Hmm.
If people can tolerate some of the shenanigans that they were doing going live,
Hmm.
at least, I mean, I would be happy to hear some new recordings. If you
Yes,
understand what connection I'm trying to make there.
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
Absolutely.
listen, nothing's going to be another Detroit Rock City Love Gun, Strutter, Dr. Love, whatever, you name it.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, like, it was a Motley Crue, whether it's a Def Leppard, who's still continually putting out new music. It's nice, even if you're not going to go to that as your main groove, so to speak,
Hmm.
just to give you something that's fresh,
Yep.
and even for the artists themselves to do it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, imagine constantly living in the past, living on what
Right.
you did 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
They know in their heart of hearts, Def Leppard, that they're not going to do another Rock of Ages or, Foolin' or whatever.
Hmm.
Coolin'. I mean, they know that, but it's not stopping them to say we're artists. We still love doing what we do. And we're going to try to put out new music because yeah, as you would say, you never know.
You never know. And look, I'll say this with the last Def Leppard album, when I saw them last year, they did a couple songs from the new album, and I think Kick is a great song. I enjoy.
Yeah.
I was so happy the rest of my friends are looking at me like, you know this song? I'm like, yeah, I kind of do. But to the point there is the rest of them didn't. I was the only one of the 6 of us that was even remotely excited that they were doing that song.
Mm,
But I
yeah.
love that these bands are still putting out music. And look, I'll say this with the Motley Crue song. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as everybody is saying online, right? I think it's very trendy and fashionable to just crap all over Motley Crue. And I get that people are still bitter that they came back, blah, blah, blah. So I don't think the song is anywhere near as bad as people say online, but it's also for me not as good as I was hoping. As soon as that verse came in and the things kind of dropped down, I was like, damn, I was hoping I was going to get something that felt a little bit heavier and something from like a Too Fast for Love vibe or something like that. And I didn't get that,
Mm,
but that doesn't mean it's a bad song. It's just not what I was hoping for.
okay.
So
Mm.
that's the Motley Crue song. Right? Like we said, we knew that one was coming. I did not know unless I missed it, but I don't think I did. I was also very, I'll say, pleasantly surprised to wake up and see that Richie Sambora released a new song today, which is genius on his part because the Bon Jovi documentary, Thank You and Good Night, drops today. There's going to be a lot of talk on social media about this documentary. And what does he do? He releases a new single the day the documentary drops. It's, to me, it's brilliant marketing on his part. And even the single cover, if you will, it has like his initials. It says "I pray," and then it also says "Bon" in like very. They made it look like an eye chart, and they have the letters BON together on the eye chart. It just, I thought that was pretty smart on his part to just try to capitalize off of that. But you gave the song one listen also. I've given it multiple listens. I'll let you first talk. What do you think of this one?
I when I first listened to it, I thought sonically with they were using some sort of synthesizer or something, which
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of I was like, oh, that's an interesting choice. I wasn't kind of expecting that. Um, I thought when I first heard the chorus, I'm like, this is okay, you know.
Okay.
As the song went on, the chorus sounded a little bit more catchy to my ear, or like kind of was selling me a little bit more. Again, easy win. Tried to go for the voice box thing. I was like, I thought it was a little low in the mix, just
Okay.
mix wise. I would have almost preferred to hear some other kind of solo there.
Hmm.
Not that
And
it
I
was
figured that
bad.
would be the part that would get you throwed. I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Nah, not so much.
Okay. Okay.
Not so much. Maybe what was played didn't get me though. Not so much the talk box
Right.
thing. I mean, you know, because like the first thing I think about solo with talk box is, you know, it's my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but anyways, I mean, the obvious one is living on a prayer, but
Right.
that's more the verses. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said solo.
Yes, you did.
Um,
That's why I
but
didn't correct you.
yeah, so I thought, you know, his voice sounded good. You know, it's nice. I think we commented recently when we were doing the Bon Jovi stuff about Richie's vocals and how his
Mm-hmm.
voice sounds compared to John and all that stuff. Again, I thought it was on first listen, an average listen. Didn't
Mm-hmm.
think it was bad. Wasn't like, wow, this is getting me really excited. I would have to for both these songs really go back and do a couple more listens and really
Mm-hmm.
I think automatically just because lyrically I'm going to gravitate more towards the Richie song just because I'm going to roll my eyes less, you know.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um, it doesn't seem as put on, if that makes sense, you know,
Mm-hmm.
than the Motley song. Um, but yeah, that's my general feeling about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm happy that he actually put out some new music.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I thought the song
And one other
had
thing,
good. Yeah, go
another
ahead.
one thing, one of the things I thought was like, man, I wish Richie and John would just write together again. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because I think songs would be even better. That was
Agreed.
my like going in after the first chorus, like, it's missing that ingredient in my, you know,
It's missing
and
the
Richie's
John ingredient.
well, I mean, and we've said it before. Richie's done
Mhm.
some great solo work. You know, it's been
Yes.
quite some time,
Hmm.
so it's proven that Richie could write on his own. This is not like
Right.
Richie's not a good songwriter.
Right.
I don't want to say that, but you know, but that's my general feeling about the song.
Yeah. No, I mean, one of the things I liked about the song is that just it felt happy. It felt like this
Mm-hmm.
positive feeling all
Mm-hmm.
around. I happen to like the chorus. Like you mentioned when the chorus first started, you were like, I'm not sure. And then as it went on, you kind of got hooked a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the chorus. I got no alibis. I pray, I pray. You know, I just thought the chorus really kind of hooked me in. I loved the start of the song, and I'm not in tune as much. Like, what are those different instruments? He said it was a synth. Makes sense. I was like, it sounds like a synth, but I wasn't positive. I liked that. I think his vocals. I think he sounded great vocally, which you know I'm a big fan of him as a vocalist. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll say this. I have what I call like a master playlist in my Apple Music account that I keep like all songs that I don't mind listening to on a regular basis. And I added this one today into that list.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you know what? When I'm listening and I have, 10,000 songs that it could pull something from, I don't mind if it pulls I Pray from Richie Sambora again. I would gladly,
Mm-hmm.
I'd listen to this one easily somewhere between 5 and 7 times today. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, yeah, yeah, I like this. And I love, it seems like he's going to be dropping a new song every week for the next month. So
Oh,
it
nice.
sounds like it's like 4 songs, I think it was, or five, but I think it's four. And every week he's going to be dropping another new song, which I think again in 2024, that's the way people like to consume music. I think if he released 5 songs today, I don't think I would have listened to all five at once. And then you
Plus,
get busy with life and you forget about it. Yeah.
I mean, this is going on the last couple of years at least. You know,
Yes.
where people are doing this. It's just the way the industry is. I mean, I don't know. I still rather go back to the old day.
Mm.
You know, buying a vinyl. You know, there's nothing like putting on that first side, hearing the sequence,
Mhm.
seeing how the second side sounds, doing your comparison. It's kind of lost that art.
It has.
I know I'm old school with that. I'm not opposed to the, dropping a single every week.
Mhm.
That does, to your point, make things a little bit more where you could digest it a little bit more. But, we grew up at a time was we knew how to listen to music.
Right.
No one had to teach us how to listen to music.
Mhm.
And, with attention spans of today, if you give a kid or youngster, a
A Ute,
record like,
a Ute.
yeah, a Ute, they just wouldn't digest it like we did. They
Mhm.
just don't have the patience. They're looking on their phone, they're looking on their iPad, they're doing the computer, they're on the phone, they're posting something, they're on TikTok.
Yep.
We just didn't have all those distractions.
Yeah.
Our distractions was, listen to music, going out and play ball, doing whatever. It was
Mhm.
just, to me, a better time.
It was very
For,
different. And I'll say this, I'm guilty as charged because I think if Richie or even Motley Crue had released 5 songs today, I don't know that I would have the time or whatever to listen to the whole thing at one time. It's just for whatever
well,
reason, whatever the reasons are, life moves a lot faster now, and I don't know that I have a half hour to sit down and listen to new Richie Sambora music.
I don't know if life is moving faster or we've conditioned ourselves a certain way to make our day.
Yeah.
It's like we've been pre-programmed by life, by social media.
Hmm.
I mean, let's face facts. I mean, even for yourself, you're not obsessed with like checking your stats and whatever. But when you post something, you're going to take a look and
Of
see,
course.
how things are doing and stuff like that. It's going to, keep you away from maybe doing something else, or that's the thing that normally if you were going to listen to 5 songs, now
Right.
you're checking this thing however many times. I'm just not
Just
saying
as an
that's the
example.
exact thing.
No, but
Yeah, yeah,
that's your example is spot on.
yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's great. Again, I'll say it again. For people who we grew up listening to, that they're still out there putting out music, it's a really nice thing
Yeah.
uh, to get something new.
Agreed. Agreed. So of the 2 songs, the Motley Crue, Dogs of War, Richie Sambora, I Pray,
Mm.
which are you more likely tomorrow to wake up and say, I'm going to give that another listen?
The Richie Sambora song.
Okay. Will you, though? That's the question for you. Will
Um,
you?
yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, you know why? Because I want to listen to it for that particular song. Ooh, excuse me, that particular song.
Mhm.
I want to listen to some of the sonics and some of the layering that he did. I want to try to
Mhm.
figure out how it was put together, and I'm also interested who played on it.
Yeah,
For the
I
Motley
looked
Crue,
quickly. I couldn't find anything, but I'm
yeah,
curious about that also.
yeah, I want to see if who played drums. I'm always interested in all that kind
Right.
of stuff.
Yeah.
So that too will bring me to listen to it again for certain specifics,
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely. No, that's cool. I did want to introduce just one third song into this conversation, which I sprung on you literally 5 minutes before we were recording. But
Mm,
so I think you said you had a chance to sample it a little bit, but I'm kind of putting you at a big disadvantage here because I sprung this on you literally minutes before we were going to start recording. But for the past year and a half, actually, I've actually become a big fan of the band The Wild Things, right? So
mm,
I'm very familiar with their catalog. To put a little bit more salt in the wound for me,
mm,
I spoke about that Who concert quite a bit on this show and my
mm,
disappointment. Um, as you remember, I'm sure, Vincent, that night, you and I went to dinner beforehand, a nice barbecue meal, right? We showed up just in time for the Who
mm,
to hit the stage. And as I learned after the fact, the Wild Things actually opened up that show. It was their first show at the Garden ever.
mm,
I could have seen a band that I now like, and I didn't know who they were at that time, at the Garden, opening up for the Who. It probably would have been the highlight of the night for me. So it's a little bit more salt in the wound for me for that night that I missed that.
mm,
They did perform on the Kiss Cruise
mm,
11, which is where I heard their music and I became a fan. And so I listen to them at least once a week right now, maybe
mm.
multiple times a week. Especially there's like 5 or 6 songs it has that I really, really liked. Last year, 2023, they were probably my favorite new artist, I'll say. So I hear that they're working with Tommy Thayer, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be cool. A new band I like with the old band I like. This is going to be great. Tommy Thayer had done a video, like a promo type thing with them a few months back. So I wasn't totally surprised that he was working with them, where he like pretended, I think like in the hotel, like that they were harassing him, or it was all in good fun or whatever. So yeah, there was no shock to me when I heard, no pun intended, there was shock me, when Tommy was working with them. And in fact, he's going to be performing with them tomorrow night in California. So I think that's kind of cool. But so I'm a big fan, I guess is what I'm trying to say for the Wild Things. You came in as probably complete disadvantage. Like I said, sprung it on you last second. You never probably even heard the band before. You probably gave it a 1 minute listen, but I'm going to ask you anyway. What did you think?
Mm. So yeah, as soon as I started listening to it, the vocal melodies themselves sound very familiar to me. Of
Mhm.
again, uh, you're much more familiar with bands of let's say early 2000s to now.
Yep.
Some of the females like Paramore and all these things.
Yep.
It kind of had that, it reminisced of some of that sound that I've heard before.
Mhm.
I thought like when it got to the chorus, it was it might have been, again, this is first listen. This
Yeah.
might have been the initial, like the catchiest chorus out of the three songs to my ear.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I listened to it and I went to because I figured, all right, Tommy, what did he do on this? And there's like a solo on there, and
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. That was his solo part.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay, and but overall, I thought it was good. I thought it had a good sound, and then actually, you sent it to me Apple Music, but I think you have to be a member to even do a preview. So I
Oh,
was
really?
actually able to go to one of my other services to
Okay.
listen to the whole thing because it said preview.
Hmm.
Um, and then when I went to the other service, I noticed that the fourth song on there, I think it was fourth song, was
Yep. Only
Pete Townsend.
Attraction with Pete Townsend. Yep.
Yeah, and I just listened to a little bit of it. Oh, yeah, this is musically, I like this. I was like,
Hmm.
this is cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I could see now, knowing that. I think you had mentioned to me that you liked them. I could
Yeah.
see, why you liked them. I think they got a good sound to them.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think dare I say, and I say dare because you're probably surprised that out of the three songs, this might have been the song that hook wise got me from like I said, the Richie song, it gradually got catchier to my
Right.
ear.
Hmm.
Where this song right off the bat, I was like, oh, this is a good hook. This has got, it was good, and it felt a little cookie cutter to me, like,
Hmm.
again, something familiar that I've heard before. But that doesn't mean something isn't good,
Right.
but that's my feel about that song.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised because again, I know, you're going in very cold with that, and it does have a little bit of a newer band feel and all of that.
Hmm.
But I'll say this, I just said how much I really like the band compared to some of the stuff I've heard before. This was somewhat average to me. I
That's
think they
interesting.
have better songs, and they have done a few different songs with Pete. The one they decided to put on this EP had already been previously released. So I knew that song for the last 6 months. They did another one with him. I'm trying to think of the name of it, Lay Off, Take On, or something like that. Much better than Only Attraction, in my opinion, although Only Attraction is the one they seem to like to play a lot in shows. But the stuff they did with him is very good. And supposedly they have like 5, 6 songs with him that they worked on. So I'm really excited to hear what else they have perhaps in the can there.
Hmm.
On the EP, they also put out, which previously they had released, a cover of the ABBA song, Does Your Mother Know? Which I think is phenomenal, their cover. I listened to that again weekly, probably for the last year. I just
Hmm.
think they did a really good version of that. The second song, I don't remember what the name of it is. I'm not a big fan. It's an acoustic type thing. I'm not a big fan of that. But I thought what Tommy brought to the table with them was interesting because they came across, I'll say, a bit heavier on the Breaking Madonna song than they do on some of their other stuff, which is a bit more melodic. But if you did enjoy Only Attraction with Pete Townsend, you should check out. There's 1 or 2 other songs they did with him that they've already released, which I think are very good, very catchy. I agree. You made a comparison to Paramore. I hear that connection as well.
Hmm.
But that doesn't bother me. That's, I happen to like Paramore, so there's nothing wrong with liking the Wild Things as well for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When I
Absolutely.
see the Wild Things, it makes me realize how hard it must be for bands to break into the industry these days. Because let's be honest here, they opened up for The Who, they've opened up for Kiss, they're working with Tommy Thayer, they're working with Pete Townsend, and they're still not a radio staple or anything. They've been working with these guys now for a year or two, and they
Hmm.
still can't break through. It just makes me realize how damn tough it is these days,
Oh yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But then I also think, well, if you're bunch of 30-year-olds, and I don't know how old they are, but let's just say they're a bunch of 30-year-olds. Is Tommy Thayer and Pete Townsend really, is that the audience you should be going after, or should you be trying to work with the Paramores or the newer artists like that, where maybe those fan bases would take to a Wild Things band more than a Kiss fan, or who, like I said, we went to see the Who and I was like, yeah, new band, the Wild Things, whatever. I don't know them, not interested, guilty as charged, right? Meanwhile, now a year and a half, 2 years later, I love them. So I just wonder, but, and I did like in the Breaking Madonna song, they did have a reference, and not just a reference, they used the words shout out loud in the chorus. And I'm like, that's obviously a tip of the cap to Kiss fans who are listening to this because of Tommy Thayer.
Absolutely.
So, but I'm actually happy to hear you say that of the 3 songs, that might have been the best one for you.
Yeah, again, these are all one listens.
Yeah.
Did not do more than one listen. So, and as you said, that last song was literally like as I'm setting up and quickly.
I could not have waited any longer to send that to you today than I did. It hit me all of a sudden. We had texted and you were like, how about this time? Does that work? I was like, yeah, that sounds good. And then all of a sudden I was putting in my contact lens. I'm like, I should send you this. We should talk about this for 5-10 minutes because it's Kiss related and our viewers and listeners will enjoy that. And if I could help promote that, I'd like to. So I sprung that on you last second. Sorry about that, Bloody.
No, not a problem.
So I think on that note, I look forward to seeing what people have to say, hopefully about all 3 songs, right? But certainly about the Mötley Crüe and the Richie Sambora songs. Like I said, I've already read a lot of comments. I know what people are saying about the Crüe song. I challenge people, go in with an open mind. Pretend it's not Mötley Crüe for 30 seconds. Just pretend it's a rock band. Do you like the song or not? Take out your bias that you're bitter that Mötley Crüe came back and they should have stayed retired. Could you like the song?
I don't even get that. I don't get that thing.
I don't either. I mean, if Mötley Crüe were the only band that ever did that, I would understand.
And I mean, and if you mortgage your house and lost your house because you pay, all right, I understand you being upset. But the fact of the matter, if there's a band that you love came back and they're still playing, they're still out there, one to just be happy about it. I just don't connect with.
Look, we just said the Who. The Who, I think, retired in 1982, if I remember right.
Yes, the final tour.
Yeah, so look, practically every band and every artist has done it. I don't know why so many people crap all over Mötley Crüe for it. It's easy to make fun of Vince Neil. People love.
I was just going to go there. If Vince Neil didn't have a weight problem, I think he's gotten a lot better. Since
I think he's better, definitely.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be anywhere near as a target.
Agreed.
It's easy to make fun of.
It is. And look, as I've gotten older, I put on 50 pounds. So far be it from me to ever criticize anybody who gains weight. And at the end of the day, who the hell cares? Vince Neil was never top 10 greatest singers of all time, but he's given us great, memorable performances and lead singing on songs that were part of our childhood. That's all that matters to me. The rest doesn't matter. I delete the comments on my page when people start commenting about the way he looks or whatever. I don't care about that at all. You want to say you don't like the song? Okay, fine. You're going to comment about the way Vince looks? Delete. That's nonsense to me. Yeah. But I'll be curious to see. I'll say of these 3 songs, I challenge the viewers and listeners, listen to all 3 of these songs and let me know how you rank them first, second, third. Breaking Madonna, The Wild Things, I Pray, Richie Sambora, Dogs of War, Mötley Crüe. How do you rank those 3 songs? I'll be really curious. I think that's a wrap, my friend. And I have a feeling it's a Reynolds wrap. And I have a feeling we're going to be doing this again real soon.
Ooh. Should I not disconnect?
Not that soon.
Okay.
Not that soon.
Okay.
But I think we're going to be back maybe with another episode, maybe by Monday.
Okay.
All right. But on that note, we will wrap it up. I'm not going to put any hands up for Vincent this time. I'm going to let him off nice and easy. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Later.
Talk to you soon. Later.
Alrighty, there you have it. We'd like to hear your thoughts and your comments on the 3 new songs by Mötley Crüe, Richie Sambora, and The Wild Things. Let us know which one of those you'd be adding onto your quote-unquote mixtape. We'd love to hear your opinions. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button below. If you're listening to one of my podcasts, subscribe over there as well. Also, head on over to Facebook and follow my page, The Rock Experience with Mike Brunn, where each and every day we talk about all the rock and roll music that you love. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter as well. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you all next time.